Hi, Tony Bartolo, Managing Engineer for the Telepresence and Collaborations Experience Centers here in the Americas. And today I'm extremely excited to give you the first view of our next generation Cisco Immersive Telepresence, the TX9000. So what we've done is we've taken the best of both of our industry-leading immersive products, the T3 and the CTS, and we've merged the best of both into one product. So let's talk about what's new in the Cisco TelePresence TX9000. First, a whole new way to do facial lighting. Instead of using direct lighting, we're now going to use reflective lighting. And we do that by using either the wall-mounted or freestanding thin rear reflector panel. And with that, we have new LED lights on the back of the system. LED, much lower power draw, much less heat generation to be more eco-friendly. As we move down the system, we've moved the speakers to the top of the display. Why? Because then the sound comes from closer to the faces in the screen for better immersion. But also it helps if you're using the new optional TX9200, which is an 18-seater with a back row. Now they can hear better in the back because the sound is being diverted over the heads of the people on the front row. A whole new camera element. First of all, the cameras are actually more discreet, pulled up away from the image so you don't really look at them anymore when looking at across the table. Secondly, and probably more importantly, they're full 1080p 60 frames per second. And oh, by the way, we're going to do that with a 20% bandwidth reduction. As we move down a little lower, 365-inch displays, as well as a whole new content display down below where we're going to use LED technology, brighter colors, more detail, much more vivid. So now you can finally collaborate on full motion high definition movies and not lose any of the quality to the far side. An incredibly integrated system with a cable runner going from the front system to the table in the back. Everything's integrated and clean. The only thing that comes out of it, power and network. A whole new table. We've actually lowered the table slightly and the screen slightly for even better eye contact. On the table, brand new microphones. The microphones are much more discreet and better integrated into the table. But we've also added something called a whisper mode, where now you can individually mute the mics within the table so you can have a quiet sidebar with your colleague next to you without them hearing it on the far end. User interface, that new 12-inch touch panel that we've already put across the entire product line of CTS also applies here. So the entire Cisco TelePresence product line has a unified user interface from our Jabber client on the desktop all the way up to these large immersive rooms. So a user always feels comfortable no matter what device or system they're using in front of them. So in summary, the TX9000's got 1080p 60 frames per second on the people, 1080p 30 frames per second on the content, all while giving you a 20% reduction in bandwidth, a whole new integrated package. No cables are visible, no screws are visible, incredibly attractive to anybody who walks into this system. A much easier to deploy system with much less room remediation requirements than ever needed before, so you can deploy quicker at a much lower cost. Don't forget, you also have the ability for a TX9200, which is a two-row 18-seat version of the unit. So I look forward to seeing you in the Telepresence and Collaboration Centers around the world. Thanks.